I'm Rock, your divorce strategist. I'm learning something new. I'm actually making an outline. This divorce YouTube series is so viral right this time that I found a niche. And the niche is, for 50 years I've been dealing with business owners and private equity. And one thing I've learned is not everybody could be an entrepreneur. Not everybody can, build it to be a founder of a business and grow a business and deal with all the stress and deal with the human relations, the finance, the energy, to stick and stay, to build something for year after year after year. But I did notice something. Most people were just human. And either addictions were involved, like in my case, a workaholic. The other thing is, money was more important than a marriage. That's right. Either side, male or female, money at the end of the day is more important than the marriage, than the love. It shows in the statistics. First marriage is 50%. Second marriage is almost 70%. Third marriage is over 75% end in divorce. So in my YouTubes, when I started out, I started talking about, if you want to be an entrepreneur, this is what it takes. It takes grit. It takes so much to be an entrepreneur, a successful entrepreneur. And what's success? I don't know. To be successful at anything. Some people don't care. But marriage, everybody wants to have a good marriage. And it's very risky. So I've always been trying to find a niche, and I think I found it. It's the discussion of love. It's the search for love. It's the it's the hope that a traditional life is within their grasp. I was part of that too. So everything that I basically talk about is, I've been there. I've done that. So I put an outline together, and I hope you like it, because it keeps me on course. And I want to really get into the strategy of, and the phases of love to exit. And you wonder, what? Love to exit? It's a business strategy converted to a marriage, in love, in the hopes and the dreams. I have pillars. I call them the 5 pillars of success. I just converted them and modified them to the 5 pillars of marriage. And I framed it, I structured it, and who can talk about it more than I can? Nobody's out there. You go on YouTube or you go to a therapist or whatever. Everyone's got their own lane and their profession. And they're out there, everybody's got to make a living. They charge money for this, right? Of course. But there's many ways that you could, by doing your homework, and especially my YouTube channel. So here I go. The 5 pillars from love to litigation. The ones that have been through it and achieved it and received a settlement to judgment, that's a big deal. We could laugh about it now, okay? And that's why I'm calling it the been there wisdom. That's what I want to pass on to others. Doesn't matter how old you are. After I get through this, I'll probably give you a story for each one in my case. 2 marriages, 24 years of marriage. How many years of dating? Probably another 4. Over 20 years of alimony between 2 wives. Okay, number 1. The 5 Pillars from Love to Litigation by Rock LaManna, your divorce strategist. Number 1, foundation. The romance phase. Dating, dreaming, engagement. This is when you're building emotional momentum, chemistry, connection, capability. But without a solid foundation and shared values, financial clarity, long-term vision, you're building on sand. This is where you must do your homework. Number 2, mastery. The marriage phase. Marriage, kids, careers, sacrifice. This is the phase where you put in the work, the emotional honeymoon wears off, and you're left with routines, responsibilities, and reality. Mastery here means communication, patience, and long-term planning. Number 3, transformation, the reality check phase. Adjustments, conflicts, identity shifts. Roles resolve, expectations change. You realize who you both really are. And that can either bond you deeper or start the drift. This is where people often ask, is this what I signed up for? Number 4, independence. The self-reliance phase. Empty nest, emotional distance, financial planning. You may still live together, but your lives are separate. This is where people start thinking about separation, building financial independence, and rediscovering their personal identity. And the last pillar is legacy. This is the exit phase. Divorce, death, closure. This is the end of your formal relationship. How you exit matters financially, emotionally, and spiritually. It's the phase where your legacy is defined by how you protect your kids, manage your money, and rediscover your joy. Now, let me give you an example of each one and how I really formulated this. As I turned 71, I was in Vietnam, and I was contemplating putting a YouTube channel up because of 50 years of experience. I've been talking to my marketing people, Sandy and Anna, and my ghostwriter, Greg, because I've written 2 books. I published 2 books, and I've been publishing content for probably 15 years. I'm not a writer. I'm a bullet guy. I'm a PowerPoint guy. That keeps my mind kind of structured, okay, in buckets. I think like in buckets because I could ramble on because I'm an idea guy. In fact, I take off Mondays. I call it Idea Monday. I take long walks and so on. I've been doing that for about 10 years. So, life, it's a life cycle. I'm just going through a life cycle, and I'm going through another transformation as I age. I'm not doing my traditional business in the past. My first 25 years is manufacturing. I was married half that time, 12 years. My second phase of my career was business consulting, mergers and acquisitions, deal making, networking. I've had employees from 150 down to a single person, myself. But I know how to manage people because of sports. And I was an athlete of some sort. So let's talk about the pillars from Love to Litigation, Number one, the foundation is basically how we started that out. The foundation is your childhood, your values, how you were raised, your faith, your parents. You observed your parents, your friends, your neighborhood, the schools you went to, the people you hung out with, and just exposure. I was one of 11 kids, so, it was always work. We were built on work. Value. My parents were brought up in the Depression, World War II, Korean War. Work, work, work. My father was a pressman, a letter pressman, which is a printer. And then he ended up becoming a owner of a business. Yeah. I got my luck, my opportunity by following owners of businesses. And my grandfather always saying to me, Rock, you should be a businessman. Rock, you should be a businessman. I didn't realize how important it was. I always thought like, God, 3M Company, I'd be the president of 3M. No. You don't have, or look at the politicians. There's no freedom. There's no creativity. You can't make a move without people. Here, as an entrepreneur, you could make a move. So going back to the foundation, that's your foundation. And your marriage or your intent and your expectation of love and so on, you have dreams. You have a love phase, of a dating phase, and people put more time into their wedding plans than they do with the formulation of agreements. And talking, it's so important. The second one basically is mastery. You always end up with your career, your dreams, your passions. And not everybody is fully engaged in a marriage, and some are. Some want to be parents. Some want to spend most of their time. My son calls it the life-work balance. Nah, not my generation. Not my generation. So that's very, very important. Mastery. I want the people that are my age or 40 and older that have gone through it. Yeah, you've gone through this and you don't even know it. You haven't thought about it the way I do. Okay? Transformation. Adjustments. Conflicts. Identity shifts. That could be from year 5, year 2, year 20, year 30. Yeah, you're changing. People change. You have to change. You lose your job. You lose a leg. You lose your health. Doesn't matter what age you are. You're going through a transformation because that's a life cycle. That's a life cycle. Independence. Okay. Empty nester, emotional distance, financial planning, sleeping in separate beds, doing different things, not doing anything together, not even eating together. You start spending more time with your friends. You start spending more time with whoever. You spend more time with your therapist. You lose your job. You're independent. Social Security. You got to start thinking about Social Security. Do I have enough money to retire? Can I afford to be married and live the life cycle that we had? Listen, learn, and protect. There's nothing wrong with protecting yourself, your families, and your joy. Okay? Here's where I'm at in my career and in my marriages. Divorce. Death. I have family members that lost their spouses. Closure. In business, we call it the exit plan. There is an exit plan. God's got the plan. Or your spouse got the plan. You got to be prepared. I'm going to start giving some step-by-step situations to listen, learn, and protect. I'm actually going to ask my marketing team to put this in writing and put it into a PDF where you could download it for free on my YouTube. If it helped, download it. Give it a like. Give it a comment. Give me a question. Share it with someone that you love. Share it with someone you know it might help before it's too late. You know where you are in these 5 pillars. You know where you are. Just think it through. Now, if it's a thumbs down, you hate it, no problem. That's a vote. This session is basically bend their wisdom. I'm at the point in my life that, you know what? It's okay. It's okay. I'm starting to let go and forgive. To me, once you're gifted a forgiveness, that's a gift, man. To learn how to let go, it's a godsend. I'm Rock, your divorce strategist. I'll talk to you again. Bye-bye.